Okay guys, I'm going to do something rather stupid today.
Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. This is your first time here. I'm the big fella Scruff. And what I'm trying to do is put trading in the real world. And hopefully show you a trick or two along the way. So if that sounds good, do take a moment to hit that subscribe button if you find value. Genuinely helps and motivates me to do more. Smash the like, turn on notifications and share to your friends, all that good stuff. Now, why is what am I doing dumb today? Well, I'm going to break down a chart and I'm going to trade it in front of you because that's what I do most of the time. So when I say subscribe, do subscribe because you'll see live trades pretty much every day. I don't do rollback charts and I don't do retrospective analysis. I do it in front of you. It's the fairest way. Now, what I also do, because I moderate a small group, if I flick this over, I'll kind of show you, is I look after them and I do put my head on the block by telling them what I'm doing before I do it. Okay. Now a trade can last 5 minutes, it can last 10 hours, which is, it becomes difficult to short. So the easiest thing for me to do is explain what I'm going to do to the guys before I do it. And then it's up to them if they want to follow that trade, but at least they know what I'm doing, so I'm accountable. That's, I think, is the fairest way, because I don't believe in signals, and I'm certainly not trading for anybody. But I will show what I'm going to do. Hope that makes sense. Now, it always starts with a strength sheet here. Now, what this tells me, this gives me a good idea of the state of market. Okay, tell me the strongest currency, the weakest currency, what the changes are. Now, if you understand how currencies work, you can also understand how an indices works because they are correlated. And that's what I'm going to be trading today. I'm going to be trading the Dow 30. It's a product I don't trade, which is dumb. And I'll tell you why I don't trade it. It's fucking lethal. You get it wrong, you really get it wrong. So I'm going to be careful with it. So this moves on to the second part of what I do for the guys, which is this. Now with this, I work out the basket of products that I'm looking at and I update it each hour till I'm paid. And it'll tell them the direction I'm going in, the grade of trade, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, whether it's ready to trade. So at the moment we've got the euro, dollar and the Dow. They are both good. Of the two of them, the Dow was flashed up as good, whereas that one's fair, making this one the better of the two. And I'll look at one asset per hour. And that is it, okay? So they now know in this 10 a.m. segment, because we're coming in at 10 o'clock now, that I'm going to buy it and it's a decent trade. Now, where did this come from? Well, it actually came from here. So it's a little salute to Nez there. As for the US 30, the Dow, that was it, 8:30 this morning. Obviously I oblige and I've broke it down. I've told them exactly what I'm looking for and why I'm going to be trading it. And now we're pretty much coming into it now. All right. Now at this moment in time, I'd like to see it move down, but this area is pretty good and I can take it down into this area. All right, so there's still some decent signs. If I'm doing a candle count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in and around just above this line across the bases of there is a good area to start placing an order. Now, I'm currently trading at around £7 a position and I put 5 in. I'm going to scale this back to a £5, and I'll tell you for why, because this market is lethal. All right, so I'm just going to drop an order there just so we can see it. Now let me explain the orders. I use pending orders rather than instant access. And the reason I don't like instant trading is very simple. You know, once I press the button, I've got nowhere to go. I'm in. The problem with that is, what if you were wrong? At least if I put a pending order in and it has to come to me to trigger in, it gives me that little bit of breathing space. In other words, let the price come to me. And if the price is moving away, well, I can follow it. Very, very simple. Okay. So that's what that is. Now, this is a 5-minute chart. It has had a surge, so it has a chance to push back. Maybe probably to this area here, into where the green is. But it might also just surge and run off up onto the top of here. Now, I'm going to target into probably about here, under the touch of the red. I'll put them in to start with. I do adjust as I go, but let's have a little look. So, why are we looking to buy this? Well, if we come out at the daily and we'll have a look. It's pushed down, it's pushed up, it's aggressively pushed down, but this is as far as it got, and it held its ground here. Solid move up. It's been selling down, but look at the candle structure over the last few days. They are getting smaller with big tails to the bottom, telling you there's buyers in and around the marketplace. All right. Now this is a daily. Take a long time to play out. Look at the hour. What can we see here? Well, if I was to draw a box from kind of there through, it's actually in a range. So if it's in a range and it's at the bottom of the range, what does a market do? It pushes to the top of said range, giving us a bias to the upper side. Now it has triggered in, so I'm quite happy. We'll let it run up to there. Take it to a 15-minute. And again, you can see this. Now, if that's the top, that's the bottom. We're coming off the bottom, we're moving up. Where's the next stall point? Well, it's the bottoms of these and this area here. So it's reasonable to assume that we'll just target into there. Simple. Because if it hits this barrier, it could repel back. Now, when we day trade and we get in, we get out. And then you just take it down to 5 minutes. And this is where you stage up. All right, it's clipped me in. So what? It's gone 50 quid against me. This is why I'm staging down. Look how small that move is, but look how big that is. This could get really nasty really quick. But all I'll do is I'll put some additional orders all the way down to here, stage it backwards. And because I've sized down, I could go 6 splits if I so wish. 6. All right. Because I can stage it out. Sensible thing to do. Now, I like to do 5, but you can have as many splits as you want. And then we're going to target up to there. So that's it. Now, I did pick a comment up before from some dickhead saying, oh, is this teaching or is it just a coin flip? Well, if you're watching this, I don't care whether you like this or not, fella. I really don't. And Okay, guys. I'm hanging on for a few minutes, but as soon as the Dow goes negative, or positive rather, I'm going to kill that one off because there's a CPI announcement out in 20 minutes. And I don't really want to be on the wrong side of it. So what I'm doing is I'm just keeping half an eye on it. And the second that it kind of, well, how do I put this? Right, I'm going to get rid of that one because I don't want that. Which is a shame because it came down to it. It just didn't quite tag it with the spread, which is a bit of a bugger. But I don't want to be sitting in this when that news announcement comes. Now, I've got maybe 10 minutes to see if this will go positive. And if it does, we'll get out. There we go. So we'll close that off, right? So that's that done. That's that finished. So it spiked up a little bit. So we kind of lost a pound, but we gained a bit. Collectively, we're not doing really well today. The markets are really hard. So I'm going to leave this alone now. But the CPI won't really affect this one too much. Which is the DAX. Now again, it's pushing up and I'll probably kill it off just before the event. But let me show you what I've been doing because I have been working today. That's risky, it's a buy, that's a buy, and these two were buys for 1 o'clock. Now we have got part profits out of them. Not the best, but they are part profits and they all add up. You know, 20 quid here, 20 quid there. Brilliant. So is it the best day? Well, not really. Right across the board, the markets have been really difficult. If we look, I mean, look, it's not going anywhere. If I put this out to an hour, you'll sort of see that. Just absolutely nowhere. There's no real movement. Put on the euro dollar. Again, it's just stagnant. You know, it had a bit of a surge this morning. Just switch these indicators off so you can see it. But it's just up and down. There's no real strength in the market at all. So what we'll do, we'll let this go positive, we'll kill this off, and then maybe revisit it this afternoon or not at all. One of the wiser things to do with trading is never force a trade, guys. If you can't see it or it's not really coming into play, just let it go. Let it go. Don't chase the market. I took the money out of Wall Street. Will it surge? It probably will. In fact, if we flick this back to the Dow, well, the rotten sod's gone straight up into it. Up into one of the marks that were pushed. Bang, straight up, but the actual target is up here. Will it get there? I think it's highly probable it will. But the thing with the news event is that can slam all the way down to here. Now, what if it goes on a Murray dance and moves from that blue line to that blue line? Now, we were getting in and around this area, you know. So let's have a look, see how far that much heat would be. And it can do it. Right, down onto that. There we go. I would have to sit through 178 pips. And it would do it really quick. Now, even if I'm going to be a little bit conservative and take it to there, it's still 100 pips. Now, if I'm staging down with an expectation of it to bounce up, fine, I can live with that. But if I'm staging down with an expectation that the train could keep on going, well, that's stupid. All right. So I work on extremes. And if that was the extreme of the market, fine, I'll trade into it. But I'm not going to do it with an unknown variable, and that variable is the news. So what we're going to do, we've got maybe 10, 15 minutes to see what's happening here. the choice I'm going to make is as soon as that goes positive, I'm going to get out and then just sit out of the news. Hopefully it'll happen while we're chatting. There we go. Right, I'm going to get rid of that. So that's it. We are out clean. Got nothing running. And you watch me do this every day on the same account. So there's no positions. We got no tickets. And that's what we've pulled in. So a shade under 100 quid. And it was a hard 100 quid. It was really hard. But it was still part of the plan. Just methodically work my way through it, and I've come to the conclusion today is not a good day. So just let it ride and just write it off as a bad day in the office. But the part that I remember is I start with 0, I end with 1. That's it. That's all I'm interested in. I've got more than I started with. Now, there's a lot of people don't understand that, you know. And trust me, I could rip them a new one. I genuinely could. Because, well, they're idiots. You know, you go to any job, Tesco's, McDonald's, whatever it is, and you start at the bottom. Do you really think you're going to earn as much as the MD? You know, and if you started bossing people about when you've just started, think anybody's going to take you seriously? Of course they're not. Bloody stupid. But in this industry, that's what happens. People come in and suddenly they know everything. They think that if you earn a couple of 100 quid a day, you're useless because you should be earning thousands a day. Really? I just don't get it. You know, it takes money to make money. If you're doing 10, 20% a year off your account, you're doing pretty well. You know, think of it this way. A bank will give you 1% to 3% at best. At best. So if you put £10,000 into an account and you were making 10% a month, which is impressive, it's making you £1,000 a month. That can feed you. But people think you put 10,000 in an account and you make 10,000 a month. It's unrealistic. It's stupid. But these morons think that's the way it is. And you know something? None of them can do it. Not one. I'm pretty good at this. I prove that daily. I can't do it. You know, I do 5-6% a month at best, you know, constantly on my main account. It's what I do, 5 to 6% roughly. Now, collectively, it pays me and it grows the account. On a small account, I do considerably better in percentage terms, but not in money terms. There's a difference between dealing in money and dealing in percentage. And those differences get exaggerated the bigger the account comes. When you've got a small account, the percentages look huge, but the money looks small. When you've got a big account, the money looks huge, but the percentage is small. They turn around. Just something for you to think about. Now, what we're going to do with the channel, not rightly sure. I keep putting up my trade, showing it in the moment, answer the questions best I can. But if there's no questions, I can't answer them. It's that simple. Support the channel and I'll try and support you. How's that? That's a fair deal, is it not? Anyway, as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.